Welcome to the Iowa Department of Education's Failure to Meet AMAO's Corrective Action Plan Requirements webinar.
Objectives for this webinar include to understand the impact of not meeting one or more annual measurable achievement objectives, or AMAOs, after 2 years and also 4+ years, and to understand the process and format for meeting the requirements for corrective action planning.
By way of definition, an annual measurable achievement objective, or AMAO, is a performance objective or target that Title III subgrantees and local education agencies must meet each year for their English learners. All LEAs and consortia receiving Title III funds and/or services are required to meet the 2 English language proficiency AMAOs and a 3rd academic achievement AMAO based on AYP information.
Annual measurable achievement objectives are as follows. AMAO 1 represents growth, AMAO 2 proficiency, AMAO 3 represents annual yearly progress. These are determined by a combination of state-approved English language proficiency assessments for AMAOs 1 and 2 and the state-approved content area assessment for AMAO 3.
The state is responsible for calculating data and notifying subgrantees of both subgrantee and local education agency data. The state is also responsible for monitoring and providing technical assistance to subgrantees on corrective action. Subgrantees are ultimately responsible for providing the same TA to districts who are on corrective action.
Requirements in years 2 and 3. Subgrantees and districts who have not met AMAOs for 2 or more years are subject to corrective action. Note that in Year 1 status, this is the early warning, and no action plan is required. In Years 2 and 3, subgrantees and districts in Year 2 and 3 will be required to, first, develop a corrective action plan utilizing the required state-approved template and send a team to both the Iowa Culture and Language Conference and the Our Kids Summer Institute to receive technical assistance and high-quality professional development. The IDE strongly recommends implementation of the Year 4+ status system, but is not required.
Requirements for subgrantees and LEAs who are in years 4+ of not meeting AMAOs. The U.S. Department of Education very specifically states that for subgrantees who have not met AMAOs for 4 years or more, the state shall require the entity to modify the entity's curricular program and method of instruction and/or determine whether the entity shall continue to receive funding related to the entity's failure and/or require entity to replace educational personnel relevant to entity's failure to meet AMAOs. Requirements for subgrantees and LEAs in years 4+. In Phase 1, the pilot year 2015-16, and years 1 and 2 of Phase 1, which are years 2016-17 and 17-18, the plan will include the following curricular modifications.
Those fall under multiple domains, including language, culture, instruction, assessment, and professionalism. Districts will be required to select building and district administrators to join the Iowa Department of Education English Language Learner Leadership Academy. Districts will also be required to send a team to the Iowa Culture and Language Conference and the Our Kids Summer Institute to receive technical assistance and high-quality professional development. Subgrantees and districts will be assigned a reciprocal peer mentor from the Leadership Academy, representing a district with a similar ELL demographic that has met AMAOs. Districts will be required to present results substantiated by evidence and data of their CAP implementation to a peer review panel annually at the Our Kids Summer Institute. And finally, districts will be required to provide specific supplementary ELL services selected from an IDE-approved list.
Phase 2 is represented by years 3 and 4, which are 2018-19 and 2019-20. The plan will include the following. Districts will be required to continue the implementation of state-approved curricular modifications and also to replace administrator or administrators who oversee the curricular modifications.
Phase 3, in other words, years 5 plus, 2020 and beyond, will include the following. Districts will be required to continue implementation of state-approved curricular modifications under the new administration and engage in high-level technical assistance with the Iowa Department of Education. This is a screenshot of the CAP plan template. It has been created for your convenience to ensure that districts produce a high-quality CAP plan that is not only compliant, but also ensures increased achievement for English learners. It has been approved by the U.S. Department of Education.
This is a screenshot of the Corrective Action Plan Year 4 Plus status system, which has been approved by the U.S. Department of Education. The system serves as a resource during this pilot year, 2015-16, as approved by the USDE, to give us time to collaborate with our districts and AEAs to finalize a resource library which will be available for the full implementation in the year 2016-17 and 2017-18. This plan has been referenced in previous slides.
Questions regarding corrective action planning should be directed to your district's AEA Title III consultant.
Should your AEA Title III consultant be unable to assist you with your questions, he or she will route those questions to the Iowa Department of Education Title III Director for further support. Thank you for your time and attention to this very important topic.